They say the proof is in the pudding. Last year, I've been doing the classic physique now for 3 years. When I first started, my waist was it wasn't a thick waist, but I didn't have the smallest waist on stage. Just from last year to this year, staying consistent with my vacuum training that I do in the mornings before I eat anything, I've taken my waist down 2, almost 3 inches in a year, just being consistent. So today we're still working on our V-taper. We're trying to get chiseled, look like our sports car. So today we worked some hanging leg raises, which is a go-to for me. I find that hanging leg raises help you really pull the abdominal in when you're doing your poses. We did some ab wheels, which kind of stretches the abdominals, getting that squeeze as you stretch them out. And then we did some vacuums. Now, a lot of people haven't been training vacuums until recently because of this new classic bodybuilding that's come back into play, but it is one of the best abdominal tools to actually shrink your waist. It's a very hard move. It's actually a move that comes from yoga. It was actually invented in yoga. And what you do, you can start by laying on your back or in a folded over position, and you flex the serratus and the abdominal wall as hard as you can. Make sure you have plenty of oxygen before you do this, and then you want to suck your navel in like you're going to try to swallow your stomach. Try to pull it into the rib cage. Now, once you start this, it's going to be extremely difficult to hold. You may only get it for 3 seconds, 4 seconds, 5 seconds. You start working your way up, and it becomes easier and easier to do. And you're actually working the abdominals internally instead of externally, which is a great way to shrink your waist. When you start, you want to start with maybe 3 to 4 sets. And you're going to try to pull your abdominals in for 5 to 10 seconds. Like I said, everybody's different. Genetics play a role in this, but you want to do these and make sure you're getting a break for about 30 seconds before your next set, because the more oxygen that you have in the lungs, the longer you're going to be able to hold your breath. Why I like my hanging leg raises, like I said, when you're posing, it makes it easier for me to pull in my lower abdominal and hold my pose. I always go with 4 sets of 10 to 15 reps on there. Then I go to my ab wheel, and I go to 4 sets of 15 to 25 reps. And then I go to my Roman sit-ups for 4 to 5 sets of 30 reps. Another thing that's important to do when you're hitting your sit-ups is to breathe out all of your air to really help contract the abdominal wall. The only thing abdominals do is tighten. So if you can blow out all your air, you're gonna just make them tighten up even harder. Now, little pro tips on these hanging leg raises and these ab wheels. You really, when you bring your knees up, you wanna try to crunch the abdominal wall and shorten it as much as possible. So it's almost like I'm doing this motion and crunching in and blowing out all that air. That's going to give you a much harder contraction. And that's the same thing with every movement that you're doing, with your ab wheel, with your Roman sit-ups, and with your hanging leg raises. You know, they say it's not about being the most massive man, but being the most perfect man. Lee Labrada said that. And you don't necessarily have to be a massive guy. If you can get your waist to come small, it's an illusion. You appear bigger than you actually really are. So this is Chisel Chase here, and I'm giving you my tricks and tips to getting the illusion of a smaller waist and a bigger shoulder frame for that classic vintage look.